licensed and qualified professionals.
All right, welcome back to the Dave Mierswa Show. I am one of the co-hosts, Dave Mierswa, and
I'm Peggy Busini, the other co-host.
yep, welcome back to our New Year's show. It is January 1st, 2017.
Already. Whew.
Yep,
Yeah.
and I got to tell you, the first hour just flew by.
It did. Oh my
And-
gosh. I don't know where it went, but I know we talked about great things.
Yeah, I gave you so many compliments
Thank you.
that I think my nausea is coming back from this past week.
I know. So yeah, quit that now.
Yeah, let me grab a pen here. Hold on. Oh,
There you go.
all right, got a pen in my hand. Not a gun, but a
Yeah.
pen.
Well, hey, if you had a gun, that'd be okay too.
So, actually talking of security, I wanted to spend a couple minutes on this because this is one thing that I noticed in Chicago, what's going on. And part of 2017, I'm going to bring my friend Craig in,
Uh-huh.
and he is an experience in himself.
Oh, okay.
You notice the PC light went on?
Okay.
And no, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of training together in security and
Cool.
weapons and mindset,
Cool.
stuff like that. We wrote a book together,
Wow.
and it was how to survive a deadly force encounter.
Wow.
So I want to bring him in sometimes. And, one of the things that I want to talk about for 2017 is security
Uh-huh.
in yourself
Yes.
and having personal security
Mm-hmm.
with your family, your friends, and your pets, and your family.
Yeah.
And one of the things I noticed that's going on in Chicago is that they have someone that comes up. This is while you're in your vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And then the one guy will, or person, guy or girl, can only
Right.
have one of the two.
Well, right.
And it's been both.
Yeah.
And then they tap on the driver's side window,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll either open up the car door or through the window.
Yes.
On the other side, the passenger side, try to steal your phone or your purse
Yes, I saw that
or
too.
belongings in there.
Diversion.
And this has mostly been in downtown Chicago.
Yes.
So this is an alert, and for you to open up your eyes, not walk around, everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time on 2015, 2016 talking about personal security, and that you don't have to go like a freak-out prepper,
Well, no.
go underground.
Yeah, no.
But it's the mindset that you carry with you that you're not going to be a victim.
Right.
And if someone wants to make the mistake of screwing with you,
Yeah.
then you have the joy of
Putting them in their place.
yeah,
Yeah.
and not being a victim and not being afraid. And one of them is when you're downtown, wherever you're at, get in your car, lock the frickin' doors,
Yes.
and keep your windows up,
Yeah.
and stop putting on your makeup, your phones,
Yeah.
and whatever,
Pay
guys.
attention. Pay attention.
And yeah, and being alert.
Yes.
There was another attack in Turkey last night.
Yes, I heard about that.
39, 40 killed. A guy dressed in a Santa Claus
Yeah.
suit and was shooting people.
Yeah.
And so, we talked about this before. So downtown now, the new tactic is, and then they were robbing people.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to be a victim.
No.
And I'm going to bring Craig on the show, but one of the things that I carry mace,
Cool.
and then I have my CCW.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I carry a weapon.
Cool.
So if someone really wants to risk their life,
Yes.
I'm more than happy to send them on to the next oblivion.
There you go.
But most of the time is, as a last resort. A gun is a last resort, and it is a mindset to not be in the wrong place at the wrong time
Right.
to be a victim,
Yes.
and opening up your eyes.
Yeah.
So when you're downtown, I was talking about this with Karen and a couple other people, is that when I'm downtown, I have my downtown hat on in my
Yeah.
face,
Yeah.
where I'm not rude to people, but
You mean business.
yeah, I mean business.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in a restaurant, and I had another guy came up and was hassling the women. He went right towards the women.
Ooh.
And why is that?
Well, he thinks you're weak.
Generally women are a little more sympathetic.
Sure.
Not you, Peggy. I mean,
No.
you're an outlier in everything.
I'm pretty mean.
Yeah, she just kicked me. We're on break, and I said something I shouldn't have, and Peggy kicked me right in the shin.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have to go back to condo. We're just kidding, folks. She's more mentally stabbing me.
There we go.
Mental abuse.
Yes.
So, you know, as we know, we joke around a lot on
Yeah,
the show,
yeah.
but you bring a serious side. And so when you're downtown, when you're driving anywhere, an attack can happen at any point in time
Yes.
and space. And I always renew my efforts every couple of months. I think about security. So go out, get some mace, test it.
Yeah.
You know, go out and buy 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then actually spray it and test it. And then if you're real brave, you should get sprayed by mace.
Ooh.
So you know how to fight back.
Well, okay.
Because a lot of times if you use it, it comes back in your face.
Yes.
And then also, you know, making sure if you know if you don't want to get training with a gun or anything, there's some alternatives that you can carry in your car. One of them is a can of Raid.
Yeah.
That stuff sprays 30 feet. Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and it's legal.
Yeah.
When I go to Florida,
Yeah.
the first thing I do, I stop by a store and I pick up 2 or 3 cans of Raid. And
Okay.
yeah,
You're
that
right,
stuff
it
works
does.
as yeah,
Yeah.
it sprays like 20 feet.
Yeah.
And you know most people that attack are real
Very
weaklings.
close. Yeah.
But yeah, so you can get into it. So that's stuff that
Yeah.
you can carry legally.
Yeah.
And
Never even
so
thought about that.
yeah, so you think out of the box.
Yeah.
And so another thing is personal security.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So one of my goals is I always renew personal security and awareness
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. And then you know, as a woman too, you have to be aware that the mindset of most of your attackers will prey on physically weaker people.
Yes.
So either the old,
Mm-hmm.
the elderly,
Yeah.
people,
Very young.
yeah, or the young,
Yeah.
and then women.
Yes.
You guys are just physically smaller.
Right.
And then also mindset. So if
Yes.
they see someone who's not paying attention,
Right.
and women
Right.
carry a lot more purses,
Yes.
and they fumble around and all this stuff. So you got to be aware of what's going on. And you know, I see people counting their money, their credit cards coming up, and then their phone is another thing they're doing downtown. So you got your phone, and they run by and they snatch it from you.
Yes.
I mean, that's been going on for years.
Yes. But
But
yeah, you got to protect yourself. You got to be aware. I know. When I was in my sorority 2 years ago, we had someone come in and do a presentation for us about being aware of your surroundings and
oh
everything.
wow,
And some of my sorority sisters still joke about this. You have to walk with a purpose.
yeah,
You have to make sure that your head's up and
Yeah.
you know what's around you and everything, and you are aware of everything.
correct.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, and like I said, just 2 years ago, in my sorority, that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
And it still rings true today.
Yeah, and even being a male,
Uh-huh.
like if you're during the day or at night,
Yeah.
walk with someone to your car.
Yeah,
I can't emphasize that enough. I don't care if you're male or female.
right.
Because something's happening to you,
Mm-hmm.
they can help and then call 911 too.
Right, right.
And then just don't be an idiot. These people don't pay attention.
Right.
And look, if someone gets in my face, and I don't want them to,
But, yeah.
I had an incident a couple months ago. I was downtown coming back from the federal court building,
Mhm.
and I had a guy that was panhandling and got real aggressive.
Oh,
And within 30 seconds, he was about a tenth of a second away. I was literally going to punch him right in the throat.
wow.
And then he ran across the street.
Oh,
And then I started getting all the swear words and all the stuff. And,
yeah.
But that's okay. You know, I never want to hurt anyone.
oh, right.
And your number one goal every day is to come home alive.
Yes, and safe,
To
yeah.
your, and safe
Mhm.
to your
Yeah.
friends. But at some point, you know, and if I can exit the situation without hurting someone, I
You'll
set
do
aside my
very well.
ego and I do that.
Right,
But I'm to the point where someone's threatening me and they're not backing off, and I'm still looking for my exit. I'll go on the offense,
yeah,
and you know I don't care. It's going to be this guy versus me,
and you mean business, and
yeah.
you're gonna win, yes.
and you know so this guy went across the street. And,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you should have heard his language.
Oh, I'm sure it was beautiful.
But you know the point is, you know the guy's now across the street, and then the threat diminished, and then I came out like a month later, a month and a half, and I saw the same loser,
Oh,
you know, at the corner.
yeah,
And then I had another incident. There was a local restaurant I go to in the morning
Yeah.
before going downtown and doing my stuff there. And then they come into the restaurant.
oh,
And then I've seen this guy 3 or 4 times. I finally had enough.
yeah,
You know, so I told him, like, look, you're done here. You don't tell me what to do. And I'm like, no, actually, I do.
yeah,
And then I go, I'm dial 911. And then he ran out of the store. I never seen him again. Or
Yeah.
out of I've had it. That's our
Yeah.
safety zone.
Yeah.
And again, this guy was going right up to all the women.
Oh,
And,
that's so, yeah, because we
so-
are more likely to be a bit sympathetic, but.
Yeah, not you.
No,
Just for the record, not you.
Me,
Yeah, we
no.
don't have to worry about Peggy.
Oh, no, I'm always like, yeah, go get a job.
Yeah, get a job!
Yeah, just like I had to do.
Yeah, go to work, you scumbag.
No, it's funny you say that, because I just read an article this morning that was saying if you get held up at an ATM machine, somebody comes and says, hey, give me your money,
Right.
you're supposed to put your pass code in backwards,
Ah,
and it will give you the money, but it shorts some, you don't get it all or something, but
Oh, okay.
that alerts the police
Right.
that that's a distress situation.
yeah.
So, it's like, really? And this article was saying that ATMs have always been set up that way, nobody just knew to
Ah.
do that.
Interesting.
So yeah, put your passcode in backwards, and then it will jam the machine and then alert the police.
And here's another thing, is choose what ATM you go to.
True.
You don't say,
Yeah.
I'm out of money, I'm gonna go to some ATM on,
Dark alley.
dark
something.
alley somewhere,
Yeah.
or in a liquor store, or, wherever.
Right,
Plan and get your money before.
yeah.
And then don't carry,
Too much.
lots of money. So we'll do some shows on security.
Yeah,
And we haven't done that in a long time. So my buddy Craig is like the ultimate in security guy.
cool, man.
And enthusiastic guy, and he makes his living, works for a pretty big corporation,
Right.
and he's their prevention loss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I got some stories.
Those are the
that,
coolest guys that.
Yeah, we
people
did
that-
training.
Yeah,
We've done training with active military, ex-military, active cops, and ex-cops.
yeah,
And we've taken courses, knife fighting, hand-to-hand. We've taken gun fighting. We've taken
cool.
a whole bunch of stuff. And I noticed we have a private range too. I went out, and then my precision with my guns I haven't shot for 2016.
Mm.
So my accuracy went down.
Oh,
I was still fast.
well, sure.
And if you're a human, I would most likely get you, but my accuracy went way down. So
Well, we better practice this year.
yeah, so one of my goals. But just be aware of what's going on downtown,
Yeah,
and then reactivate your awareness.
yeah,
And it's okay to be rude. It's better to hurt someone's feelings than it is to get hurt yourself.
right.
And it doesn't mean that you go out and start
Purposely
hurt
something.
people, but
Right.
don't be afraid.
to say
She's,
no. or
get away
run
from me,
right.
and and a lot of people are afraid to do that.
I know, and I think for suburbanites, I hate to call us suburbanites.
Oh, we
but,
are. Hey.
I mean, I always hear that, oh, you're suburban cheese, something like that. But, suburbanites aren't accustomed to seeing people panhandling on the street, and
Yeah.
then they get kind of weepy, and, oh, no, here's $1, and,
Yeah.
you have to learn to just kind of say, okay, I see that, it's a part of life, but I can't be handing out dollars
Well,
to everybody.
it's your security.
Yeah,
And here's another
Yeah.
thing is that if you're going to hand out money, you can do it in the form of a check through the mail,
there you go.
and you shouldn't roll down your windows and give money to people in the street. I've done that too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what would it take for them to pull out a knife or a gun on you?
Nothing.
Or if you got kids in the car, people don't think.
Yeah,
And so I wish everyone, the listeners out there, to open up your awareness to
Yes.
your own security. So I made a new commitment to that again.
okay.
So let's go over what our goals are going to be for 2017.
Perfect, okay.
And I know one of my goals is I'm 20 pounds big boned.
Attaboy.
And so I got 20 pounds to lose.
Okay,
And let me bring up my sheet here. You know me, I'm always
I know you're always writing
overpropped.
something down, and yeah, I know.
Overpropped. But that's what makes a good show.
Well, right.
Okay, so goal setting.
Mm-hmm.
One of my first ones is, how do you write a goal? And one of the things that people go, oh, I want to lose weight. That's
Well-
the number one thing every year in the biggest industry in December and January, weight
Yes.
loss.
Yep.
And that's
Private
when
companies know it.
Yep, and that's
Yeah.
when like 90% of their memberships
Oh, yeah,
are in December and January.
That's why I don't go to the gym in December and January, because there are too many newbies there.
Yeah.
Clog up everything, and it's like, you're only gonna be here 3 weeks. You know, do your thing and
Right,
get out.
get out of my
Yeah.
space.
So about mid-February, I go back, and I'm like, I'm back, and,
Yeah.
and those people that were there, they're gone.
Yeah, and most of them,
Yeah,
you know, go
Weight.
for, so look, the overall goal is weight loss, but that's the wrong goal. It
Right.
has to be, I wanna lose 20 pounds.
right.
So I went in recently to physical, and the doctor's like, oh, it's a shame you're 20 pounds overweight
Oh,
from where you were, you know, a couple of years ago. I go, doctor?
I have big bones.
And I go, that's right, I'm big bone doctor. And, you know, actually I go, my doctor, great doctor, and I said, you know, this has been the happiest 20 pounds of my life.
Oh,
Because I thought I was going to be 25 pounds overweight.
Oh,
And doctor, I had so much bread and over the summer and spring, and I had so much food
wow,
that I don't feel bad whatsoever.
very good, okay.
So the reality is, so you got to know, you know, what's wrong,
Right.
and then put it to a quantitative. So I know I'm 20 pounds overweight,
Mhm.
and then you got to come up with a time frame.
Right.
So I'm going to lose 2 pounds per week, and it's only 10 weeks.
That's great.
20 pounds is gone. And then, you know, what are the steps you got to do to lose it? So I'm going to watch my calorie intake, no carbs,
Ooh,
and
that's tough.
and then I'm also going to cut back on red meat.
Ah,
You know, we do this every beginning of every year,
sure,
and then I'm going to step up my fitness,
there you go.
walking, and then Tony,
Perfect.
my man crush on Tony. So what are one of your goals for 2017?
Well, you know, I have a bunch of them, and I met this one woman at a seminar. Her thing was, when you set your goals, you have to think it, ink it, and then act.
Think it, ink it, and
And
act.
act.
Okay, so go over.
Right, so I'm like, okay, what am I thinking about? Well, I need to clear out all of my emails from this past year, you know, because I keep them and then say, well, maybe I'll need it, maybe
Right.
I'm cleaning all that out, getting my computers all set up for.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Getting prepared for business.
oh, yes,
Yeah,
because.
that's huge.
Yes, and I just bought a new computer, and I already don't like it because, well, it doesn't do what I want. But
Ah.
it doesn't do what I want because I haven't set it up correctly, so I have to go and,
That's a good analogy.
yes, I have to.
So you got to prepare for 2017. You got to
Yeah.
set up your software.
Oh, yeah, and,
Okay.
you know, got a lot going on this year. And my fitness goals, I actually just went to I'm in a group in Mundelein, the triathlete group, and we just had our New Year's brunch today, and that's where we set our goals for the coming year.
Okay.
If we're doing any triathlons or any marathons or half
Did you have
marathons.
pizza at the buffet?
No.
See, that's the best part. I would have walked in with a frozen pizza or something.
Well, no, the thing is, I used to go to this and I bring the sausage and meat and sausage and cheese tray and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd always get it back and nobody ate it because we were supposed to be healthy. So I was like, well, okay then.
Yeah, but you got to experience the bad behavior to
Yeah.
correct it,
That-
right?
well, right.
You got to just sell it more.
I know, I'm like, okay, I'm a little embarrassed, but okay. But
That's great. So you
then-
bring like sausage and
I
cheese,
know.
which is high calories
Of
and
course.
pork.
Oh.
Sausage.
They're like,
Everyone's
here's your
like-
stuff back. I'm like, well, nobody ate. Well,
You're like,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
They said, yeah, bring a veggie tree next year.
A veggie tray. That's
Okay.
boring. Put some
I
cheese
know.
on it.
Well, that's the thing. I love cheese, but.
Yeah, put some veggies on it, the sausage, and then
And then cheese.
cheese. That's right.
I know, but yeah, I'll be working with Al the first 3 months of the year, and he's got a program where in 90 days we should, if we follow his instructions right to the letter, he's like, you'll be right in shape, you'll be ready for summer,
Awesome.
your body will be cut and sculpted and all that, and I'm like, okay, but it really, I know it works.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I went to all vegetables, for the most part, for everything I'm eating. And, you know, I'm not counting calories, but just being aware of what I'm putting in my body, cause
Right.
oh my God, there's so much junk out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so.
And one thing I learned with dieting it's 90% calorie intake and
Yeah.
what you fuel yourself with.
Exactly.
The 10% is working out.
Right.
Although
right.
most people equate losing weight with I have to get more physical, and it's not true.
No.
You got to control the calories
No.
and then put health in.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause,
To get health out, you got to put health in.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's, I was talking to my older brother a week ago, and he too is considering trying to lose a couple of pounds and stuff. I said, it's all about what you're putting in
Yeah.
your mouth
Yeah. And how much?
and
Too.
how much,
Yeah, that's a huge one.
But, I said, just make sure you eat a couple of meals a day and make them all little and just snack all day if you can. I mean, for
Right.
me, the ultimate is to have hors d'oeuvres all day long.
Yeah, cheese and sausage.
Cheese and salt.
See, I knew you were a cheesehead from heart.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're right on the border of
Yes.
Antioch.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Cheesehead.
But I just said, but yeah, hors d'oeuvres, but good hors d'oeuvres,
Yeah.
vegetables and fruit and all that.
Yeah.
And as long as you stick with that, I mean, I find that I'm not hungry.
Yeah. So when you do snack, here's another thing I learned too. You got to clear out all the junk,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
then that's huge. And I think you really can make snacks. I prepare my food during the week,
I do too.
and like eggs and
Yeah.
like I make hard boiled eggs myself.
Yes.
We bought this little egg maker for $6,
Cool.
and it steams them.
Yeah.
So it's like a
yeah.
little steamer.
I just started steaming my eggs
Yeah,
too,
and
and it's
then
great.
yeah, I learned you wait till they not almost cool down but warm enough, and then the shells come off easier.
Mhm.
So I prep my own food during the week, and then one of the things too that 2015 I started, I have a ton of bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas are really good unless you don't want to over the potassium. Some people have a potassium problem,
Right. Right.
so you got to watch that.
Yeah.
And then for snacks,
Mhm.
I love everything in a bag. So if you can, talk your wife into cutting apples, oranges, and grapefruits in a bag.
Ah.
Because I like everything on the go,
Sure. Yeah.
and so you can help prep. And so I think that's a good goal, Peggy. Is not only trying to lose weight, but switching your diet.
Yes, it's and when I was younger, I could exercise it all the way
Yeah,
and stop drinking beer for a day or two, and that would be an easy 5-pound loss.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Because number one, I'm not drinking near as much beer, and
as you should.
as I should. Yeah.
As you should.
Well, it is for medicinal purposes.
Yeah, dealing with life.
I used to try to, pass that over, and my parents were like, yeah, no.
Oh, they had you from the get go,
Yeah.
especially your mom.
Yeah.
She knew you.
But, it's all about the focus, and it's all about, how, if you don't feel well when you eat something or drink something, don't eat it,
Right.
or don't eat as much of it, or,
Right.
try to just maintain good body feeling.
Yeah.
And it makes such a huge difference.
And here's another thing I learned too. You got to be consistent on a daily basis.
Yes. Yes.
And for a lot of people, you may have to write up a business plan. So what you said think, ink,
Think,
and
ink,
act.
and act. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So you're thinking about your goals, and then
Yes.
obviously ink means write them
it
down.
Yes.
And let me bring up one of my other things here that I have on goals. This is kind of cool. Let's see, goal setting. I got two in here, hold on. See, I'm trying to use less paper and just use my laptop. Because I'm lazier too, I'd rather just bring this
Well,
up.
I
see?
know, I like that idea and everything, but I always worry if the laptop breaks or something.
Yeah, it's good to
I
print
know.
stuff out too.
I know, there's no good answer.
So this is an acronym, and I don't know what website I got this from, or I'd give credits.
Mhm.
Oh, here we are. It's called Active Solutions. So it's off a website. I don't know if they're still up or not.
Okay.
But they use the acronym SMART.
Uh-huh.
SMART. And the
Okay.
5 steps for goal setting. Number 1, the S is specific. So exactly what do you want to achieve? So we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
You want to do the what, the which, what, who, where, when, and why. And then M stands for measurable. So you got to make it quantitative.
Right.
So when I want to lose weight. That's the overall,
Right.
you know,
But we
conclusion. But specifically, I
Much.
said 20 pounds
Yeah,
or 25. And then A stands for action oriented.
there we go.
And so that's, you know, what are you going to do to get the end result? And then R stands for realistic and relevant. So your objections may appear optimistic initially, but as you develop strategies to achieve them, they become realistic. But you gotta be realistic too. So if
Totally.
you weigh, you know, 400, 500 pounds, and you're, I'm gonna go run a marathon in 2 weeks.
No,
You gotta be realistic.
very realistic.
And yeah, and another thing too is if you're shifting what you're eating, you're gonna go through withdrawal.
Oh, totally.
There's
Yes.
what's known as carb withdrawal. This stuff is real.
Very.
Carbs are as addicting as like cocaine and barbiturates
Yes, yes.
and other drugs.
Mhm.
And caffeine too is,
Horrible.
they say
Yes.
it's more addictive than like cocaine and
Right.
some other drugs.
It's the last legal
And
drug.
yeah,
Yes.
so whenever I purify my body, I go
Uh-huh.
through caffeine withdrawal.
Sure.
And so you got to be careful on that. And then this is the most important thing too, on the SMART. So let me recap. We talked about so far. So S SMART is specific goals, and then M stands for measurable. A stands for action oriented. R is realistic and relevant. Because a lot of people do stuff that's not relevant to the specific goal.
Right.
They just churn, you know, butter or whatever they do just to,
Right.
you know,
Just
they
to
act
say
like
they
they're
did it.
busy. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and then the T stands for time based. So when are you going to do that?
Yes.
So this is really good. This is off a website called Active Solutions.
That's great.
Yeah. So
'cause,
SMART. Let me recap that one more time for listeners. So your goals, they got to be S specific, M measurable, A action oriented, R realistic and relevant, and then T time based. So
Yeah.
like my 20 pounds, 2 pounds a week,
Yeah.
and that's got to be realistic.
Yeah.
And then the time based, so over 10 weeks.
That's good.
So you look at it, you know, when people look at losing 20 pounds, like, oh my God, I'm just gonna remain big bone and drink beer.
Right. Right.
And so, but you think about it, 10 weeks isn't that big of a deal, 2.5 months,
Yeah.
and then two pounds a week.
Right.
Anyone can do that.
And the thing is, not only are you setting up to do that, part of that too is at the end of 10 weeks, you have to set up a maintenance program, or you have
Right.
to set up something where, you know, I mean, I can easily do this. Oh, I can lose the 20 pounds in 10
Right.
weeks, but in the 10 weeks after that, I can gain it back plus more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You know?
and that's the biggest thing that in weight loss, people, they do the yo-yo.
Yes,
And you gotta be consistent, and it has to become a long-term,
lifestyle.
lifestyle change.
Uh-huh,
So this goal is now into your daily routine and lifestyle.
yes.
And so that's one of my biggest ones. And then let me give you some other categories. I thought this was kind of neat. Let me bring this up. So you got your goal. We got about, we should cut the break now.
Okay,
got-
and then we can.
Yeah, we're already 3/4 away from with the show.
Man,
It's
where'd
2
you go?
hours. Yeah.
Woohoo.
All right, so you've been listening to the Dave Mierswa Show,
With co-host Peggy Busini.
of course. And we've been talking about 2017, year in the making. And we're kind of going over goal setting.
Yeah,
And we're gonna do this in a positive light.
yeah.
So you don't have to bash yourself. And that's another topic that
Oh,
we'll talk
yeah.
about in a second.
No bashing.
All right, so we're gonna cut to a 3-4 minute break and then we'll be back.
Injury and estate planning experience to you. The Dave Mierswa Show. About the people, for the people, and bringing justice to the people. The Dave Mierswa Show, its guests, agents, and WRLR are not rendering any legal advice. All listeners are encouraged to seek legal advice from properly licensed and qualified professionals.
Oh, welcome back to the Dave Mierswa Show. I'm one of the hosts, Dave Mierswa, and
Co-host Peggy Busini.
yeah. So we are on the last half an hour or 2 hour show today.
Yeah,
And we were just talking about 2017 year in the making.
yes.
And we kind of stayed away from politics today, thank God.
Well, yeah.
I'm kind of burned out
it's-
all the
Well,
anti-Trump stuff.
I'm no
and-
kidding. I just, well, like I was saying earlier,
Yeah,
I'm so, I'm getting so tired of all these things that are being said by the media
yeah.
that really are just ridiculous. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, the Russians hacking into the, our systems for voting.
Right.
Okay, why would the Russians matter? I just don't understand why it would matter. I mean, I understand, but I am like, this is just so far-fetched and
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Well, the thing is, they're trying, we're gonna spend a minute on this. They're trying to deflect
Yes,
from what happened to them.
yeah,
And their own egos won't allow them to realize that they lost.
right. People
And
still crying on the internet, oh my God, she lost.
and then, you know, I'm not gonna get into HRC bashing at all. I wanna stay
Yeah.
positive light.
Exactly,
But I think part of 2017 is you're gonna see a lot of roadblocks
yeah.
put up.
Yeah.
Obama, I believe, is gonna stay in Washington
I believe he is too, yeah.
and then try to become an obstructionist,
Yeah,
otherwise known as politics.
yeah,
But, you know, whatever, go do what you're gonna do,
right,
and we're gonna do what we gotta do. And then
yeah.
hopefully we'll be able to come together to at least get some good legislation through
Right, you know. I
that
think-
benefits all Americans.
Exactly, I think it's
So
gonna be
hopefully.
run as a business now and not so much a political
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah, we are hoping for that. But today we've been talking about 2017 and year in the making, and we're basically talking about goal setting and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes,
You know, just before we went to break, Peggy, we brought up a real good point, is don't bash yourself. If you didn't reach all your goals in 2016 or 2015, you know, it's okay.
right,
You know, like when I went into the doctor, I knew I was gonna be 20 pounds overweight.
20
And-
pounds, big bones.
Yeah, and then I started laughing. He goes, "You're 20 pounds." I go, "Oh, that's it." I goes, I was expecting 25.
Well,
And he goes,
okay.
"Why?" I go, "You know how much bread I ate?
Well, right,
Every meal setting, and then all the dipping sauces." And
Yeah.
I go, "I don't regret a darn thing." You know, all this food.
yes.
He goes, "So you realize you got to lose weight?" I go, "Doctor." I go, "I do," and I go, "I'll get back on track." So,
Yeah,
and I didn't bash myself for it.
well, no, I mean, you kind of bash yourself in that
Yeah.
you don't feel well after you overindulge.
Right.
It's then when you say, oh, that's really why I
Time.
shouldn't eat.
Yeah, time to get back on track. And then, like last night, I had 2 smaller little pizzas,
Mhm.
and I had a ton of junk food.
Yeah,
And then I put the stuff away,
yeah,
and then get back on track. That's why I got to the studio early this morning,
yeah.
got into the proper mindset, and
Right.
so if we have a good show
Yeah.
on 1/1/17, the rest of the shows will be even better.
It'll be excellent.
So,
It'll be
yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Yes, I know.
And so, what are some of your other goals, Peggy, that you want to? Oh, budgetary. That's a good
type
topic.
Goals, yes,
Okay.
because I was reading in USA Today,
Mm-hmm.
the USA Today newspaper, that if you want to set budget goals for 2017, there's 3 things you gotta do. First, you gotta take an assessment of all of your bills.
Okay.
And then the second thing is to dedicate, certain amounts of money to all these bills. And
Okay.
then the third thing is to make sure that you save something.
Ah.
And, it's so hard to do that third component, to save, because,
Sure.
I mean, like me, I'm always like, just pay the bill in full,
Right.
and then it's over, but then it takes your cash supply down. And
Sure.
So,
But
it's
you
like-
got to get a handle on what's coming in per month and
Right.
what's due,
Yeah,
and then then number 2, paying that.
yeah,
And we've all been through the financial stuff,
mhm,
but you really need to take a look at. I'm a business owner, my
Yeah.
law firm,
yeah,
so I track what goes out every month.
right,
And then I think part of budget setting too is realizing you have limited income. People like to think I have unlimited income.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
break out the credit card, that's not unlimited income. You're just tapping the credit card, and then you got to pay interest
Yes,
and all that. And that I think you really just got on a really great topic. A lot of people get on themselves for misusing credit cards and stuff like
Yes.
that. So number one, get over it.
Yeah.
Stop the bashing. Then number two, you're only going to make X amount. Look, Obama makes X amount per month,
Right.
and Trump, who's a billionaire, makes X amount per month.
Right.
So we all have limited income. It's okay to say that.
Yeah.
And then you really got to put it to ink
Yes.
as to what you actually do in fact make per month, outside taxes and all. What's your
Right.
net,
Yeah.
and then what are in fact your bills.
Yeah.
And after one quarter, you know what your bills are going to be.
Sure.
Heat, food, whatever. And then that sounds like a real good article. And then you can estimate
Yeah.
what your bills are going to be.
The
And
rest of the year.
yeah,
Yeah.
set it. And then discretionary spending. And one of the things too is if you go out to eat a lot, you got to learn to cut stuff out.
Yes.
So going out to eat, if you do like going out to eat, then go to places that have, like there's a restaurant that has half price appetizers.
Sure.
So I go there.
Yeah.
And then the salads, they have full salads that are like $4.
Yeah.
And then, my friends and family make fun of me, but then,
Well.
then again, I'm the least one worrying financially.
Well, right, that's the thing. My younger brother tends to be a little tight with the dollar. We've always teased him about it and everything, but it's a good thing he is.
Yeah.
Because, he wouldn't be where he's at
Right.
if he hadn't been saving all his money and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, because I was saying the other day, my money went to my children. And so I'm like, well, that's gone.
Yeah.
So now I got to start saving for myself.
Right.
And in some days I'm like, it's too late and why bother and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, all that stuff. But, someday I'll see more than $100.
Well, you got to start today.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And then a lot of people get real upset. I should have saved more money. I'm in my 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
I should have saved more money. Or a lot of people just invested bad
Right.
and they lost it,
Yeah.
6-7 years ago and
Mm-hmm.
never really recovered. And look, you got to be realistic.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we went over. You got to take a realistic assessment.
Yeah.
And then you got to do a snapshot of where you're at financially, and then what's a realistic goal.
Exactly.
And what can you save per month?
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things is, I had a family member of mine who was always chasing the buck.
Oh.
And I said, well, let's sit down. So we're up in Wisconsin. I go, by the way, we're going to do this walking. What do you mean walking? I go, we're going to go walk for 3 hours. You want to talk to me and tap my brain,
Yeah.
then we're walking. She's like, all right. So, 3, 4, or 5 years ago, we started walking.
Yeah.
And she came up with a little, hit list of questions and stuff like
Cool.
that.
Cool.
And she goes, just come out with the stuff top of your brain. And so I actually, then the next day I came with recommendations what to do. And then also she was dating someone. And I go, look, you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution.
Good.
And this is what we talked about before, right?
Yeah.
So if your other person that you're dating, married to, or partner or whatever it is, if they're not producing, helping you, then they don't get to share in the pie.
Ah, okay.
And that's just the way it is. And so, my family member, person that she was dating, was drinking a lot,
Ooh.
smoking,
Ooh.
not putting up any money.
Oh,
And I said, well, then tell them to hit the highway.
right.
Like, what?
Yeah.
You said what? And I go, you heard me. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
So he shaped up.
Oh,
He's like, well, I got to go back to school and all that. And well, how in the heck are you going to pay for it?
well, right.
And
Yeah.
this was like 5 years ago. So fast forward till today. Oh, she had credit card debt.
Oh.
She had, and then she went out. You know those little egg grills?
The what?
It's called an egg grill.
No.
It's called an egg. And it's like this $2,000 barbecue
Oh,
grill.
my God. Oh, yes.
Yeah, the egg.
Oh, the egg. Yes. Okay.
So this ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
And they went out and bought that on credit. This thing ended up costing like $6,000
Oh, my
for 3 or
God.
4 years.
Oh,
And I'm like, what are you, nuts?
yeah.
And so fast forward 5 years later,
Yeah.
she's got mostly her finances under control.
Uh-huh.
Her boyfriend, I said, don't marry this guy
Right.
because
Right.
he's like a tax nightmare.
Uh-huh.
So I go, look, he's going to go to jail or you go face the tax man.
Oh, boy.
So he did. He went to the tax man. He's going to have to pay quite a bit for whatever, but it beats going to jail.
Well, sure.
So, and now he finished his education, and then halfway through he wanted to quit and come home. I said, no, there's no home to come home to.
All right.
You know, and this is where you gotta not put up with this stuff.
Right.
And so he works now. He works off a ship and works hard, brings home the bacon, and then I guess, you know, he's still a smoker. So, well, have him sit outside in the rain, you know, whatever. Not in my house.
Right.
I
Yeah.
go, do you own the house? Yes. I go, then you own it.
Yeah.
Rules go out from there.
Yes.
So he doesn't smoke in the house anymore,
That's
and
good.
then
It's such an expensive
yeah.
habit.
Oh, and then his friends would come over
Oh.
and just drink beer and all this other crap.
Wow.
And I'm like, no more.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, their relationship got a lot better too.
Well, that's good.
So, so that was, and then five years later, she's looking at retirement.
Good for her.
Yeah. So this can all be
Wow.
done
Yeah.
in 5, but you got to get realistic,
Yes.
and then you got to take no prisoner attitude.
Yeah.
And if someone isn't going to go along with the program,
And no, someone needs to leave.
or you just don't support them financially.
Right. Right.
You know, and I have had certain family members wanting to borrow money. I'm like, I don't lend money.
Uh-huh.
I give money, but I don't lend money
Right.
like that. And I said, you need to figure out your own life.
Mhm.
And here's another thing is, NMP, you're not my problem.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up to take care of you. You know, seriously.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of, you know, and even some expectations of clients. And they want
Sure.
more money for litigation
Sure.
or whatever. No, I don't agree to that. If you don't like it, go find another attorney.
There you go.
I'm not putting my money into you. You're a bad racehorse.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten rid of clients. Unfortunately, you know, here's another thing is I do client management,
Sure.
and they have unrealistic expectations in a case.
Right.
I try to quash that, and if they don't, I let them go,
Yeah.
and I'm done.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but you know, that's if I take a case on a contingency.
Well, sure. And it's
And-
hard to take contingency cases anymore
Yeah,
because they're just so unusual.
yeah.
You
Well,
know.
the insurance companies have got tougher.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
and payouts and stuff like that. But I think you really onto the other huge point is, you know, weight loss and then financial.
Oh, yeah.
And stop freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Put it ink down,
Yeah.
and then do a budget.
Yep, I know, and I was actually, after I read that article from USA Today, I'm thinking maybe I should see a financial planner, but then I'm like, well, I can kind of do it myself.
Yeah.
You know, and save that money so I don't,
Yeah.
you know, so, yeah,
Why not start right there?
exactly.
And then if you got credit card debt,
Yeah.
you need to attack that
Mm-hmm,
and then get that under control. And it's all about spending.
yes,
It's all about spending, and then, but you can save money the first month. People like, oh, I won't be save money until the end of the year. That's not true.
oh, no,
You can open up separate accounts
yes,
and then put it away, and then I know they always say too they have an emergency fund.
right,
So I got an account that if a car breaks down, we can take some out of there. The house roof blows off or
right,
whatever, we got money for that.
yeah,
And so you start there, and then you stop this cycle of living paycheck to paycheck.
right, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's, you know, more secure, or I don't want to say secure, more focused.
Yeah.
And I'll say, well, you know, I got a couple extra bucks here, oh, we can go out to dinner here, which normally I don't even eat out anymore
Yeah.
because sometimes the food, has things in it that don't agree with me.
Right.
So I'm like, why am I eating this food if, you know, it doesn't agree with me, it doesn't make
Right.
me feel good,
And it's expensive.
and it's huge expensive.
It
So-
adds up.
yeah, so I'm like, you know, so I've been trying to kind of keep track of, at least in the last quarter of 2016, how much I'm eating out
Yeah.
and how much I'm spending and stuff.
Right.
And really, it came to almost zero because I don't think I went out maybe 4 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, well, I have a little more money, you know, so
Yeah.
then I can put it in another column
Sure.
on the page on the Excel sheet.
Yeah, you know, and here's another thing is when you stop going out to eat, you can control what you buy and what you eat
Yeah.
and how much.
Yeah.
And that goes towards your goal of weight loss.
Mhm.
So you got to link all your goals together too.
True.
So if you're trying to be, better spiritually, we only got about 3 or 4 minutes left in the show.
Oh my God.
Today just flew.
This has been crazy.
And so you got to line up all your goals too.
Yes.
And here's another thing I do. I'll spend 1 minute on this. I do a pie chart, and I break down my time allocations to what I do.
Yeah.
So like a big chunk of my pie chart is I spend a lot of time litigating,
Yep.
and then I break that down into what time I spend in court and stuff like that. And then one of my goals, I know for 2016 this was terrible, is that I didn't read a lot, just novels and books that I wanted to. So I'm going to reshift that. I'm going to do less work in court and all that. I want to refer out more cases. And then I usually every Saturday is my day off.
Uh-huh.
And then in the mornings, I'm going to start reading more books,
Excellent.
newspapers and books, and reallocate that pie chart
Cool.
to being a little more working on self and stuff like that.
Perfect.
And I think a point is you have to do a self-assessment.
Uh-huh.
And then some of the other goals that you can have, some of the other areas is like spiritualism,
Yes.
health, finance. Let me see if I can bring up this other chart. Spiritual, finance, categories. Here we are. Health, finances, education, spiritual, work, and so some of the main categories. Then you got to break them down.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Sure.
put 'em- and then I like that. Think, ink, and act.
Yep.
I like that, the 3 acronyms. So you got to put it to paper.
Yep.
And then you got to put a time frame on it and then work on it. So I think you really shared with the audience, we're all trying to do better financially.
Yes.
And but I'm kind of through to the other side where credit cards are paid off and,
Yep.
and things like that. And I'm telling you, it's worth it.
Oh, I know. I have stopped using credit 5-6 years ago.
Good for you.
And now this past year I did open a credit card because I had no credit history anymore.
Ah, okay.
At first it went down into the dumper,
Yeah.
and then I paid everything off. But now I've got another credit card now, and I kind of like it, but I don't because I pay it off.
Yeah.
But then I say, well, I have an extra $700 or $800 if I need something.
Right.
And of course, everything you need is always an emergency.
Yeah. Isn't that always the case? Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm like, well, okay, it's
Good.
something I have. So yeah, no more credits, cash only.
Yeah. So we got like a minute or so left in the show.
Oh my God.
Didn't today just fly?
It was like just went
Yeah.
in
Didn't-
2 seconds. Yeah.
But I hope you enjoyed today's show.
Oh, I loved it. It's
Um,
great.
I think the listeners hopefully enjoyed the show too.
Yeah.
And here's a big thank you to all the WRLR listeners out there.
Yes.
And hopefully they're going to keep tuning into our show.
Yes, at 12 o'clock on
And,
Sundays.
Yeah, 12 o'clock on Sundays. And then we'll throw in 2-hour shows. And I got some other stuff too that we'll be expanding the show
Great.
on. And then Peggy, keep up all the great work.
Oh, listen, it's
And
fun. And yeah, and be sure to meet me on Sundays at noon, please.
oh yeah, always. And hey, and again, thank you for being a co-host on the show.
Oh, thanks for letting me
And-
do it.
Yeah, and then just continue to be yourself, and please don't become too nice.
Oh, no.
You had me worried there for a second.
No, I gotta be edgy.
Edgy. So, all right. On that note, you've been listening to the Dave Mierswa Show, and then we'll be back. We're normally on every Sunday at 12 noon. And again, thank you for all your listeners out there. And any last word, Peggy?
Hey, have a great week, everybody. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year's,
And
everyone.
see you guys next Sunday, or talk to you next Sunday, and thanks for listening.
Yep. All right. Take care of everyone.